Hey everyone, Pepe the Guy here today. Pepe the Guy here today. We are adding two new figures to my new Black Series collection that I have been collecting for a while now, and I just haven't really had time to upload any of them because I've been pretty busy. So the last video I met TX2. That was kind of fun. Anyways, starting off with Clone Commander Bacaro from the. I'm not 100% sure of the Legion, but I do know that he's under Jedi Master Ki-Adi-Mundi. And honestly, valid, because Clone Commander Bacra is one of my all-time favorite clones. Comes with two different types of rifles. We got the carbine, and of course the big rifle. I forgot what that one's called. Honestly, though, pick him up. I'll show you his articulation here in a minute. But we also have Shak. Move aside for a sec, Bacaro. Honestly, thoughts on Shak. Her little Turgetta, whatever these things are. Her head, I don't know what these things are called. I forgot. Her head tail things, her tails. They are a rubbery plastic, except for the ones up here. The tip's kind of rubbery plastic, but these part itself, that is hard. And like all the Black Series Jedi, or most of them nowadays, the saber comes out of the hilt, so you could have her. I can get the saber out of her hand. There. You could have her rest the saber on her belt like so. Like so. There we go. See? Just like that. I'm going to set the blade down, and the cloak comes off fairly easy. The cloak's made of soft goods, as well as the cloak down here. So, she's very posable. I've been messing around with these two figures for a while, and I think Shak might be my favorite. She can, it looks better with the cloak on, but you can have her put her sleeves in like that. And you can put her sleeves in her hands in her sleeves. And honestly, I love how this figure was made, beautifully crafted. It looks just like Shak. It looks like she jumped straight out of Revenge of the Sith into figure form. I noticed Black Series has been doing the photorealism faces, and I've got to say, I really do like them. I love the posability. You get so many different. You get a head turn like that looks a little goofy, especially on my head. You guys, it doesn't look too bad, but for me, it looks really goofy. And step aside for a sec, Shak. Now it's time for Clone Commander Bacaro. Let's set his blasters down. Once again, his thing's made of soft goods. This is a rubbery plastic. All his shoulder pads are rubbery plastic, except for the knee pads and the elbow pads, which are like a harder plastic, but it's not horribly hard. You can still definitely get a lot of good poses with this guy. Any pose you could want for a clone trooper, you can get it with this guy. You just can't take off his helmet. Actually, no, that's glued on there. Never mind. I'll say maybe you could take it off, but no, you cannot. But yeah, you get him into a bunch of different poses for a clone. Some people say they don't like how it looks on the side, but personally, I think that's just how Clone Commander Bacaro looks, so let's give him his, there it goes, it fell. The thing about these blasters is they are weird, like, weird as in, they just don't want to stay on his hand for some reason. And this is a very beautifully crafted figure. Wow. I'm just flabbergasted that they got his armor perfect. Even some of the, look at the paint chipping. That's intentional. Because sometimes paint chipping have a certain feel to it. That doesn't feel like, that feels like it's painted on there specifically that way. Or it could be a misprint. I don't actually know, but if it is a misprint, that is a beautiful misprint. I have other figures who have misprints that are bad, but this might be one of my favorite misprints of a figure. Wow, I love how poseable this guy is. Alright, we're going to have him set the carbine right there. We're going to have him standing like so. Now I need to get a Master Ki-Adi-Mundi. He's one of my all-time favorite Jedi Masters. And there's Shak next to him. If I can get Shak to stand. Hold on, let's put her on the little stand here. Yeah, I have a stand from an old figure of mine that came with it, so I'm just using it to stand Shak. She was standing perfectly fine earlier, but I don't know. She's not standing now for some reason. Alright, the first figure for comparison today. Let me fix the stand. Is you guys know what this is? I want you to tell me, because I know what it is. Actually, never mind. I'm just going to tell you anyway, because some of you might not know if you're not diehard Star Wars fans like yours truly. That'd be the God. Here we have a commando droid, which if you know, these things are scary. If you know why they're scary, then you know why. If you don't... Okay, I can't seem to give him... He won't... There we go. He just wouldn't hold his blaster. His blaster fell out because I had him in a different pose. Is he gonna stand? Is he gonna stand? Is he gonna stand? Come on! He doesn't want to stand. You were standing just fine earlier. But honestly, these look great together. I'll definitely have to do a pose between Clone Commander bacra and this commando droid. Alright. Next, we're going to be posing them next to Luke Skywalker from A New Hope. Beautifully put together figure. I love that face. Some say it doesn't look like Mark Hamill. Personally, I think it looks kind of like Mark Hamill. And yeah, I cannot wait to pose these guys all together. Here we have Jedi Revan. Which honestly, they all look nice together. Another video game character, Cal Kestis. Cannot wait to pose with them. It looks so cool. As I'm working on new displays, that's why my desk is cluttered. And of course, best Sith Lord of all time, Darth Revan. Another one of my favorite Sith Lords right here, Darth Maul. If you're wondering where his other saber piece is, it's behind his back, because I had him split his saber off and he's about to deceive you. He's about to connect into a double blade. Anyways, that's all the figures I had to compare them to today. And actually, we're going to get some poses here, so give me a second. Here's Luke with Shak T's robe on, and honestly, I love how this looks. I might have to put Luke on the shelf like that. And yeah, that turned out really good, and I love how that looks. Alright, well, we're gonna get another pose here, one sec. Here we have Clone Commander bacra executing Order 66. I know it's not Ki-Adi-Mundi, but I do not have a Ki-Adi-Mundi figure. But when I do get one, though, I am so posing him next to Clone Commander bacra. I love these two figures, man. They're so beautifully crafted. Or for guys and girls and whatever else. Anyways, one more sec. I'm gonna get one more pose here. Or a few more, and I'll check back. I think this is how I'm gonna pose these two on my shelf. But this looks beautiful. Actually, if you wanted to, you could recreate that one iconic scene, or those that iconic scenes from Jedi Survivor where Cal has the blaster stance equipped, which does not look too bad. I just wish we had like a DC-17. I'll have to get Commander. Sorry, not Commander. I guess he was a Commander during the final season of the Clone Wars. But I'm talking about Captain Rex, one of the best, the best captain in the whole Clone Battalion. And yeah, that looks decent. And, yeah. Honestly, I'm going to put these figures all on display, and I'll show you the display here. Just give me a little bit of time here. Hey, finally, I finished with it. And I got to say, I'm pretty proud of these. So we have, like I said, Clone Commander Bacra versus Commando Droid. And my 2 Jedi Council members, Yoda and Shak T. I'm going to get a better Yoda. This is an old Yoda I've had for years. I just haven't gotten the time to get a new Yoda. And like I said, these Luke and Darth Maul actually did fight in one of the old Legends comics. And in the back we have Cal Kestis and someone I forgot to show. If you know who he is, bonus points for y'all. But honestly, great villain in Jedi Survivor. And of course in the back, the 2 Revans. But yeah, I'm going to keep the display like this. Tell me what y'all think. And if you're wondering what that is an LED that when I have all my lights off, I turn on my LEDs and makes the figures kind of glow and stuff. Makes them look pretty cool. And up there is just a Transformer Build-A-Figure that I did. I'm very proud of this. Tell me what y'all think. Until next time, peace out.